Okay, let's go. It's Iron Handy in the old Games Corner. Modern Game Madness. Time to come back to Phoenix Wright Trials and Tribulations. We're about to start the last trial. Let's go. Hey Nick, what is it this time? You won't believe how many people are here for the trial. Well, it is a murder case. What are you talking about? They're here for the trial next door. Next door? Why don't you know this, Nick? They're having Detective Adme's trial today. Detective Adme? They say they're going to try him as Mask the Mask. Already? That was fast. Boy, I'd love to see Mask the Mask trial. I know. But wait, where's Pearls? Oh, she went back home. And she said she can't neglect her training anymore. I know you don't like me. Pearls has really gotten into her training lately, huh? Yeah, ever since that incident I said, please, don't ignore me! Oh, Mr. Delight, good morning. No one likes me. No one would notice me, even if I killed someone. Come on, don't be silly. Wait a second, you don't mean you're the murderer? No! I'm just a poor thief! No, wait, that's not right. A thief can't really be poor. Now, let's see. According to Mr. Delight, from his second crime on, he was following a bunch of said plans. Plans said someone had been sending to him to help him commit the heists. Do you really think there's a connection between the thief and the murder, Nick? It's possible, but today's trial is a race against the clock. Huh? How come? Let's just take our time like always. I'm afraid that's not an option. I'm just playing this by the book. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Ron Delight. The defense is ready, Your Honor. You're ready. Preparation is the last refuge of the weak. Okay, settle down, everyone. Let's begin with your opening statement, Mr. Godo. He's got the judge in the palm of his hand, yet again. Ron Delight is simply too young to be sent to war, that's all. I'm afraid I have no idea what that means, Mr. Godo. And you need to get out more, Your Honor. Life is war, but it is exactly why you must be more precise in your wording. That's all my statement means. You understand now, right? Yes, well, then, let me briefly summarize the details of this case. Well, the judge has taken charge like he knows what's going on for a change. The victim is Ken Bullard, the CEO of KB Security. His body was found in the safe at approximately 9 a.m. on the morning of the 13th. However, the time of death was estimated as 1 a.m. of the previous day. And that's when our little lost kitten dropped the ball. A little lost kitten is, of course, the defendant. Are you sure? He's more like a little puppy than a kitten. Very well then, Mr. Godot. Please call your first witness. I never drink more than 17 cups of coffee during any given trial, but the first one is always the best. Mr. Godot, your witness? Okay then, let's see what the defendant, Mr. Rondelite, has to say for himself. The defendant? Well, Mr. Wright, does the defense have any objections? I may be a bit of a disadvantage having the defendant testify, but I remember when Mia was defending me. She always allowed me to testify so she could do that in cross-examination. She put a lot of trust in me back then. We have no objections, Your Honor. The defense will allow Mr. Delight to testify. You got guts, try it. Alright then, Mr. Rondelite, please take the stand. You did it, didn't you? Yes. What? No, that's not true! For a moment there, I thought we'd set the record for the shortest trial ever. Well, Mr. Delight already looks plenty guilty with that face he's making. And once he opens his big mouth, he'll probably put the last nail in his own coffin. Very well. Now then, can you tell me something? If you didn't kill Bullard, why did you go to KB Security? Well, that's kinda hard to say. Boy, I wish Now then, let's hear some testimony about what happened. That evening, around 1 a.m., I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security. The blackmail letter I got, it ordered me to go there. I've been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was. 1 a.m., the exact time the murder took place. The weekend washed away by the tides of fate. The strong drink it up. It's bitter today, too. Just like my destiny. You never know from that the way he's chucking it down. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination if you please. Let's just get a couple things out of the way. Yeah, this one. It ordered you there. It was the first time I got in a blackmail letter that ordered me to go anywhere. Does that mean you've gotten other blackmail letters then? Oh, of course. They'd say things like, steal this or take that. Why don't you save those for later, Mr. Delight? Please don't say it anymore. Now, what should I do? What did the blackmail letter in question say? It's said to bring $50,000. Money, eh? A perfect motive for committing murder. Oh, but wait! I never intended to pay that money anyway. Oh, is that right? After all, he had nothing to hold over my head. I had nothing to be afraid of. An important point indeed. Witness, let's have that added to your testimony. Yes, sir. Huh. A mighty mud skipper in outer space has a better chance of surviving than I do. Let's hear this new line of questioning. Just what were you being blackmailed about anyway? A blackmail letter said, if you don't want your identity revealed, correct? I'm sure it was referring to the whole mask thing. But I wasn't worried. Mr. Bull didn't have anything on me. He didn't? Anyway, I don't care what anybody says about me, as long as he believes in me. So that's why Mr. Light didn't believe he was Mask the Mask. That's why I knew they were just whole threats. Hold on a second here. You used to be a security chief for KB Security, right? Yes, that's right. The security chief? You? And yet, a year ago, you were fired without notice. Revenge for no grudge, a perfect motive for murder. When you say, this isn't good. Maybe I should change the subject. Mr. Delight, please tell us why you were fired from your job. Well, the world is filled with those who have said, I'd wish I would never had asked that. Okay, I take it defended. Please answer the question. I needed money. You needed money? Well, you see, Desi loves to spin it. It's kind of a hobby. Not exactly the best hobby in the world, huh, Nick? My salary wasn't nearly enough, so I stole data from the company. Come again? KB Security has a lot of insecurity info on all sorts of companies. And since I was a security team chief, you stole some data and sold it. Mr. Bullard found out, and when I was fired immediately. What? I wish I had never asked that. I was somehow able to keep it secret and made it seem like I had quit on my own. What is it, Nick? You don't look so good. Someone who brings harm to their company is fired as punishment. I do well to remember that. I sure told you. So you admit that you stole data from your company, is that correct? Yes, I'm sorry. This is a very important fact. Please add it to your testimony. Oh man, this whole thing just took a big turn for the worse. Crashed and blew up. It's gonna take the jaws of life to rip this case from the clutches of disaster. I'm not sure this is on the right page. I believe this conspires something of the sort. Let's just get right down to it, pal. Why would you do something like that? Well, for Desi's hobby. What else? Wasting money, huh? It's not a waste! So, Miss Delight doesn't know that her husband was fired, does she? So it would seem. But I'm not sure what to think about couples who keep secrets like that from each other. I can't believe it. This case has gotten even Maya to think seriously about couples. Please try to stay focused, Mr. Wright. There wasn't much into his testimony, was there? It's not even a debate. It's just something that happens, and you have yourself to blame on that designation shit. I, for one, don't think much else. It's the bottom line, 'cause I said so. Sounds like he's avoiding something. At least, that's what it sounds like to me. Uh-oh, I've got a bad feeling about this. We'd better be careful. But if we don't find a way to make him spill the beans, we'll never get closer to the truth. Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. Just what were you being blackmailed about anyway? The blackmail letter said, if you don't want your identity revealed, correct? I'm sure it was referring to the whole mask thing. Tisk, I'm afraid that reason isn't going to hold up anymore. What do you mean? The victim had no proof the defendant was mask, but you were the one who stole company secrets only 1 year earlier. But that was all over once I was fired. But it is true that the fact I stole secrets was kept under wraps. Even so, there was no reason for me to pay up now a whole year later. Is that really true? What is it, Nick? The fact that Ron was stealing company data. I wonder if he would have had a problem and then ever became public knowledge. Yes, he would. Mr. Lilite, I believe you would have been in considerable trouble if your idea as a company data thief was made public. Mr. Wright, what are you trying to do that by bullying your own client? Mineral colonies are bacteria. The more heat you apply, the faster they grow. That's exactly right. Well then, feel free to keep up the heat, my little lawyer amigo. Oh, lawyer amigo? Yes, now come on. Provide some evidence that can back up your assertion. If you had the guts, that is. Why wouldn't Mr. Delight want to keep his data secret from going public? Yeah. I'm definitely... It's Desiree, isn't it? It's gotta be Desiree. Mr. Delight, What you said just now doesn't match what you told me yesterday. Huh? And what doesn't? I think you must have been scared, very scared, of having a certain person find out your secret. A certain person? Miss Desiree Delight, the defendant's wife. Listen to me, my Desi, she's... It looks like if I just sit back and relax, the fun will end before it truly begins. Godot, yes, we know. It was all your wife's fault. What do you mean? Mr. Delight stole company dated debate for his wife's spending habit, for which he was fired. Unable to face his own wife, someone used his dirty little secret to blackmail him. And that is how this murder came about. No, everything is falling neatly into place for him. Don't talk about my Dizzy like that, or you'll be sorry! Ahem. Well, it seems that we've learned a great deal of things here so far. What do you think, Nick? I don't think it was possible to get so thoroughly whipped in just 20 minutes. Clearly there was sufficient motive for murder. He stole data for his wife and he killed to protect his secret. A family man who cared just a little too much. Now, the motive is clear. Let's move on. What happened to the crime scene at 1 in the morning, Mr. Delight? Come now, tell us. We're all ears. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. Oh. Looks familiar, huh? We'll get to that later. Suddenly I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed. When it came to, Mr. Bullard was lying there dead. I'm gonna have everything I'm looking at. I'm basically gonna have to personally add that to the list, as if to say, yes, I'm gonna have to play that again. I see. Suddenly hit on the forehead, huh? I believe the detective from yesterday provided similar testimony. He said that the mask struck him on the head from behind. Of course, since Abby turned out to be the culprit himself, that was all a lie. Huh. No one's ever gonna believe a pathetic lie like that. What are you saying? I really was attacked. We'll find out if what you say is true or not during the cross-examination. Got that, Mr. Trite? Don't go easy just because he's your client. If I see any sign that you are, I'll treat you to another cup of my special blend. You don't need to worry about that, Mr. Godot. I have faith in Ron. I know he didn't do it. Alright, then let's come to the third testament. The third statement. Could you please clarify what you are referring to? Why my the mask costume, of course. Wait just a moment. Mask the mask? Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? Just to be on the safe side, I dressed as Mask the Mask. And then I descended upon the office of the CEO of KB Security. What? Nick? Did you know about this? He never told me about this. Just to be on the safe side, I want to plug this in. Let's go. I don't recall him ever mentioning it to me either. Even I didn't know that. It seems a little friend really loves to keep secrets. Damn. I'm sorry, I just never had a chance to mention it until now. Wait, that's not right. You know how sometimes things just slip your mind? My 6th cup of coffee is staring up at me coldly. At any rate, we can't ignore this new piece of information. Witness, please correct your testimony. I would have been killed if I didn't have my Mask the Mask costume. Yeah, why were you dressed up as Mask the Mask? Why, because I'm Mask the Mask, of course. What are you talking about? Mask the Mask trial is being held next door. Yes, I guess so. Anyway, at that time, I thought I was being blackmailed over the Mask the Mask issue. So I thought I should go as him just to be safe. Oh boy. Let me tell you, it's a real pain to move around with that cape. That's why it took a lot longer than I expected. Took a lot longer? What is he talking about? What do you mean by took a lot longer? Oh, opening the safe, of course. My cape got caught on the safe door, you see. This all happened when I was hiding Mr. Bullard's body. What was that? Back up a second. Yes, you were the one that hid the body in the safe? Well, yeah. Inconceivable! Why? Just why? What reason could you have? What were you thinking? Question. When does someone toss their dirty swords in the washing machine? What? The answer is simple. When they take them off. As usual, I have no idea what you say. You mean that Mr. Delight hid the body because he's the murderer? Huh. So you're not as stupid as you look. This metaphor this time was really obscure. Mr. Wright, you don't mean that you knew about this whole safe business, do you? Well, yes. Why am I the only one not in the loop here? Witness, make sure you add this to the testimony. Yes, sir. Uh-oh. Looks like a storm front is moving in over the fair weather judge. Yeah, I believe that's something to consider. Would this got your attention? This, buzzer? Your Honor, could you please take a look at this record? And what would this be? The record for the emergency buzzer that connects the CEO's office to security. If the button in the office is pressed, a security team is supposed to come running. And according to this record, the buzzer was pushed once, at 1:02 a.m. What? If Mr. Ron Delight truly was a murderer, He would have ran as soon as the buzzer sounded. After all, a security guard would have been heading his way. Let's remember who we're dealing with here. He probably had no idea that there were security personnel in the building. Up until 1 year ago, my client was working as a chief of security. There's no way he wouldn't have known about that. But, as it turns out, the guard never came. That was nothing more than a coincidence. The fact that the guard was a pathetic loser who had just gotten punched in the face by his ex's new boyfriend and wasn't anywhere in the vicinity was not something Mr. Light could have known. What do you think of that? Again, remember who we're dealing with here. It's a sure bet that Mr. Light didn't even notice the buzzer going off. This buzzer is extremely loud. There's no way he could have ignored something like that. If he had been unconscious, that is. Conscious? What do you mean about that? By that? Fine. Let's hear your theory. Recording the defendant's testimony. The moment he entered the victim's office, someone attacked him. Mr. Light said he felt dazed. I'm willing to wager he was knocked unconscious for at least a few minutes. Unconscious? So he fainted? So that's why Mr. Light didn't know that the buzzer he had sounded. And that's why he thought he had time to hide the body. So, what are you trying to say? Mr. Light was knocked out and the buzzer went off soon afterwards. Now, unless my client was able to hit the buzzer while he was unconscious, it can only mean that there was another person in that room. That's right. Whoever it was, they knocked him out, round the light, and then pressed the buzzer. Oh! Order in the court. Mr. Wright, this is preposterous. It was this kid, Rhonda Light, is the one who killed Kane Bullard. And who'd press the buzzer? It was the victim, of course. He pressed the buzzer when the defendant attacked him. He didn't die right away. He must have held on long enough to push that button. So, Kane Bullard sounded the buzzer himself. What is your opinion on this, Mr. Wright? I need to prove that the real criminal was there at the scene, but how? Can I prove that it wasn't Kane Bullard who sounded the buzzer? Yeah, I can prove it all right. Let's go! The defense's opinion is this, Your Honor. This piece of evidence proves that it wasn't the victim who sounded the buzzer. Yeah. Let's go. I believe this is the piece of incontrovertible evidence you were looking for. The emergency buzzer is some kind of clue on it? Absolutely not. Hey, come on now. At least give some thought to what you say before opening your mouth. The fact that there are absolutely no clues is itself the clue. Now I'm the one who's clueless. This button has no fingerprints on it. If Mr. Bullard had really pressed it himself, naturally, he would have left his fingerprints behind. Rhonda Light obviously wiped them off. Now, why would he? A guard could have come in at any moment. He touched that button. I know he did. The defendant, Mr. Delight, was dressed as Master Mask. And Master Mask always wears gloves. What reason could he possibly have had to wipe the button free of fingerprints? Order, order, order! It would seem I've been forced to eat crow. I wonder what blend number crow flavored coffee is. However, if the real killer was there at the scene, why would that person press the emergency buzzer? Shouldn't they have run away without putting themselves in extra danger? What's with this awkward silence all of a sudden? It looks like you're fresh out of parlor tricks. How are you, Nick? Just give me a moment to collect my thoughts. The real culprit killed Mr. Bullard at around 1 a.m. And Mr. Delight just happened to waltz in when the murder was taking place, right? The killer clobbered Mr. Delight and then sounded the buzzer, even though security was supposed to respond right away if the buzzer was pressed. Security was supposed to respond. Time's up, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you have to say. Well, very well then. Oh, you got some guts. I like that in an opponent. Why did the real killer sound in the emergency buzzer to call the security guard? The killer knew that if they pressed that button, a guard would come running. And that was exactly what they wanted. You mean to say the killer called the guard on purpose? Yes, although as it turned out, he never showed up. Because he was getting his clock cleaned at the time. Larry Butts, you are one pathetic loser. And I'm not sorry. What a touching story. You're saying the killer had to change the heart and call the guard to turn himself in. No, I'm not. When that buzzer sounded, there were 3 people in that office. The victim, Kane Bullard, who was already dead. The defendant, Ron Delight, who was out cold. And the third person, the real killer. I think we know who that shadow is. Hypothetically, yes. Now then, in this situation, if the real killer made an escape, what would happen? The only ones left in the room would be the victim and Ron Delight. And if any security guards came running in at that time, they would think that I was the murderer. Yes, that was precisely the real killer's objective. To frame Ron Delight for the murder. Ugh! Man, I'm getting tired of that. No, I'm not. Order! 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 It seems I've been made to eat my words once again. Actually, you've been made to do a spit take with a copy. Mr. Wright, who was it? Who was it that tried to frame me? Or wait a second, I'm the one and only Mr. Maso. Nick, you mean the real killer is? We're going to drag that person in here right now. But who is it? I don't have any solid proof yet, but think about it. The killer knew Mr. Delight's identity, and they also knew that he had been called to KB security that night. So the killer used him to execute a well-crafted plan to murder Kane Bullard. Now then, let's hear your accusation, Mr. Wright. Who was it that framed Mr. Ron Delight for the murder of Kane Bullard? That's simple. A certain ace detective. A certain Luke at me! Detective Luke at me. He's the only one who could have done it. Ace detective. Look at me. You mean Mr. Mess did it? Your Honor, the person being tried in the court next to us is not Mask the Mess at all. He is, in actuality, the true murderer of Kane Bullard. Order! Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Theft and murder. Which is the more serious crime? You're not even close. Murder is the more serious crime, of course. It's a capital crime subject to a capital punishment. Please remember the trial from yesterday, if you would. When Luke Antme confessed, there was a huge commotion in the courtroom. Of course, a famous detective was unmasked as well as Mask the Mask. Instead of being convicted of murder, he was found guilty of grand larceny. That was his true objective all along. To be found guilty. Mask the Mask had the perfect alibi for when the murder took place. He was stealing the urn at Lordly Taylor. In other words, being found guilty as Mask the Mask was Luke Antme's airtight, watertight, and unassailable alibi. A guilty verdict as an alibi. You know, it's almost time. For what? For Luke Antme's verdict. It was a pretty simple trial, after all. If we're going to stop this trial and stall that one, we need to do it now. Of course, that's assuming you have proof that the detective was the one who committed the murder. Mr. Luke Antme's trial has indeed attracted the attention of the entire country. If we were to intrude and fail to provide adequate proof of his true crime, Mr. Delight would be left with no grounds for appeal. Am I really sure about this? I bet it's only as good when your life's the issue. Mr. Wright, I believe in you, Mr. Delight. So please, I'm begging you! Thanks, but my decision will determine the rest of your life. Can I really risk your life like this? Phoenix. What was that? Don't stray, Phoenix. For your client, take the path of trust. That voice, it sounds like... Mayor! Your Honor, the defense requests an immediate recess. So that's your answer, huh? Very well. I've decided as well. This court will now take a 20-minute recess. Mr. Wright, when we return, please summon Mr. Luke Antme to the stand. Yes, Your Honor. Elsewhere. Well, Detective Antme? I have to say, Mr. Payne, you performed splendidly. Oh no, Sir Detective Antme, you were the one who... Oh, get a load of this guy. That's enough. This court seems no reason to further prolong this trial. This court finds the defendant look at me. Wait! Don't hand your verdict. Don't hand down your verdict yet, please. Well, sir lawyer. Welcome to my courtroom. Who's this hoser, eh? My name is Phoenix Wright, attorney at law, and I wish to file an accusation against this man. Look at me. Accusation? You accuse Mask the Mask. That man is not Mask the Mask. He's just a ruthless murderer. What? Yeah, getting rather deeper. Yeah, let's keep going with this. I want to see how it ends. And if a certain other person did it in one go, I can as well. My sis, I could have sworn I have heard Mia's voice. So then she's still alive inside your heart. Nicky boy! Oh, Mr. Light, is it true that Detective is the real killer? To be honest, we don't have any definitive proof, but he's the only one who could have done it. But wasn't he at Lordly Taylor that night? Not to mention, we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective Atme want to kill Kane Bullard? Oops, it's almost time. Better get back to the courtroom. I need to find some solid proof. And it's gonna happen sooner rather than later. Now then, this court is back in session. Mr. Luke Atme, please take the stand. Well, how do you do, sir lawyer? I never would have thought to see you acting so recklessly. I couldn't let them hand down your verdict just yet. Not when it would have given you your perfect alibi. An alibi by the name of Mask the Mask. I'm sorry. I'm afraid that even the great Luke Atme has no idea what you mean. Of course, I have been in the next courtroom ever since 10 o'clock this morning. I'm afraid there's no way I could have known what's been going on in here. You've been in the defendant's seat all day long, correct? Being tried as Mask the Mask. Indeed, it's truly child's play to fool the ignorant masses. Not only did the poor fools ask me to protect the valuables, they even gave me a generous reward upon returning their own property to them. Take this red diamond ring that sparkles upon my divine finger, for example. So you continue to insist that you are in fact Mask the Mask? Of course. Very well then, Luke Atme. Let us begin with a simple question. On October 12th at 1 a.m., Kane Bullard was murdered. Where were you at the time? One without knowledge lacks even the knowledge that he should be ashamed of himself. But don't worry, I will not hold it against you, Sir Judge. Thanks. Alright, Mr. Atme. The night of the murder, speak. We're all ears. As you wish, Sir Prosecutor. I was stealing to earn as Master Mask just as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. A photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. The time at which the camera should mask the mask was the same time as the murder. It seems to me important of the discussion will be this photo of the crime scene. Everything else up until now was all part of his plan. It has to be a secret to this picture as well. Even the great Master Mask cannot be in two places at once. Now then, if you'll excuse me, I have a verdict to receive. Unfortunately, Mr. Adme, we still have to do your cross-examination. A fool is too foolish to know that he is a fool. Hey, wait a minute. That's something Francisco von Karma would say. I think he's trying to say you're full of it, Nick. The only thing that's full of it is his alibi. Let's go with the first one. So this photograph is the proof, correct? Indeed it is. And the man in the photo is certainly wearing a mask. And that's why I'm called Mask the Mask. But conveniently, that also means there is no way to tell who this really is. What do you mean? Are you saying that this is not in fact Luke Adme? That it could be an accomplice dressed up as Mask the Mask to create an alibi? Oh, what an interesting idea. Are you saying that I, Lone Wolf Luke, had an accomplice? If Luke Adme was at KB Security during the murder, then the Mask the Mask in this picture has to be a fake. Then there really was an accomplice. But right now I have no idea who it was. I don't have any idea right now either. Baseless objections are just what that guy wants. There's gotta be another way, and I'm going to find it. I believe Adrian Andrews hired you at one point? That's right. I was over 20 days if I'm not mistaken. You sent the calling card to Lordly Taylor 10 days before the heist. What made you send the card out after you began your security watch, right? Indeed. There was no reason why I couldn't do both jobs at once. It was the perfect opportunity to steal my latest target. I see. You truly are evil, aren't you? Yes. Evil is what I am. Hey, Nick. Isn't there something odd about this? Detective Adme was always proud of his ace detective skills, right? But if the yarn was stolen from Lordly Taylor while he was the only one watching it, he'd have no way to maintain his perfect ace detective persona. You know, that's true. It is kind of odd. So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here, is that correct? Indeed it is. That is it. That is it. The very thing that proves that I committed the crime. The very thing that proves you committed the crime. When you think about it, it's really odd. You say that almost as if you had this picture taken on purpose. He was simply caught by the very camera that he had set up. We all have dates like that. Indeed. It turned out that there was no such thing as the perfect crime after all. Life is truly an ironic thing, a sad blue melody. Do we have to have another one here? Looks like I better gather more information for now. If he's truly the killer, there's gotta be something phony in that photo. About the camera that took this photograph. Oh, come now. It's all too clear what you're thinking. Huh? You think I altered the timestamp on the photograph, don't you? I'm afraid that's impossible. The camera was set up by Laura Lee Taylor. And on top of that, it was Laura Lee Taylor's staff that printed that picture's data. Unfortunately for the defense, there's no way that picture could have been altered. I see. Looks like I better find something else that could be suspicious. So this alibi is false? It has to be. Or he couldn't have killed Mr. Bullard at KB Security. But I'm not really spotting anything unusual. There are two possibilities. Either the mask in the photo is a fake, or the photo itself is. Hey, wait a minute. So by photograph you mean this piece of evidence here, is that correct? Indeed it is. That is it. The very thing that proves I committed the crime. The very thing that proves you committed the crime. Surely even you will understand by now. Only Taylor provided that camera. There's no way I could have tampered with it. That means I could not have killed King Bullard. Unless I had an accomplice. Come on, think long and hard about that night. The basement warehouse and this picture that supposedly captures it. It's gotta be here. Isn't there something funny about this picture? Oh yeah. Are you implying that this picture is a fake? You bet I am. There's definitely something strange about this picture. We took a long look around the basement warehouse that night before the theft took place. And there's something in this photo that doesn't match my memory of that night. Very well. Then let's hear what you have to say. What about this photograph did you find funny? Direct me to this location here. Take that! The funny part is right here. Wait, this is a blood stain. Ah, blood. This case is getting interesting. Not exactly. This stain is actually pink paint. Oh, just paint. And peach colored at that. From blood to peaches. The judge sure loves going on his wild tangents. The problem with this photograph is not the paint. The problem is when you consider the layout of the basement warehouse. It turns out that something that should have been there is nowhere to be seen. Well then, Mr. Wright, what is supposed to be in this picture instead of the paint stains? It's simple, it's the statue. The supervisor of the treasure exhibit stated the following. Well, there's a good reason for that. On the day of the crime around noon, that golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. I realized that the statue would be the perfect size for covering up the paint stains. That's why I put it where you first saw it. I myself was there the night the theft took place, and saw the statue in that spot. If this picture was truly taken on that night, then that statue should have been there. But when I went there the day after the theft, that statue with the old bag was sitting in the corner. Perhaps it was somehow pushed there accidentally. Your Honor, this statue is slightly larger than yourself and quite heavy. It would take more than an accidental push to move that in that distance. In that case, can you prove it? Can you give us the rhyme and reason as to why that statue was moved that night? Can you do it, Nick? Never mind who moved it. The real question is, why did they move it? Well, Mr. Wright, I hope you are prepared with your answer. Now then, who was the one that moved the golden statue on the night of the crime? Would that be... Ah, yeah. The one who moves the statue is none other than Luke Edme. Come now, sword lawyer. There you go again on one of your strange delusions. Mr. Wright, what basis do you have for your strange delusions? It's very simple. The witness was the only one in the basement warehouse at night. That is indeed very simple. However, why would I want to move a heavy golden statue? The reason for moving the golden statue. Here's where our battle really begins. Well, Mr. Wright, what reason did the witness have to move that statue? The reason can be found here in this photograph. Look at me, you pretended to be Mask to create an alibi by showing you were at Lordly Taylor's that night. But this photograph contains a single fatal flaw. If the statue had been there, your lie would be exposed like cheap film in the drugstore. That is why you had to move the statue. A single fatal flaw? Interesting theory. Please enlighten us. Just where in this picture does this lie exist? Timestamp. Actually, the lie in this photo is the timestamp. What do you mean? I'll tell you exactly what I mean. On the night in the question, Luke Edme went to KB Security and murdered Kane Bullard. Therefore, it's obvious. It would have been impossible for him to have been at Lordly Taylor at this time. But what does that have to do with the statue being moved? Remember, if you will, Your Honor, when was this statue placed inside the warehouse door? Well, the statue was taken down to the warehouse on the day of the crime, and it was placed there in order to cover up the paint. Exactly. Luke Hanley had already decided on the time he was going to kill the victim, and so in order to create an alibi for that time, he had taken this picture days before the murder took place. What the? Of course, the statue hadn't yet been brought down to the basement warehouse yet. So on the day of the crime, Mr. Edby must have been quite nervous. As nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory, so to speak. Why? Because something that wasn't supposed to be there had been brought down and placed where it wasn't supposed to be. And that is why Luke Edney had to move the statue on the night of the murder. He did it to make the room match with the way it had been in his photo. Order! Mr. Edney, is this true? One moment, Your Honor. Have you forgotten this? What's that? The data for the basement warehouse computer. According to this, the camera did indeed go off on the night of the crime. It's true that the camera had been set up by the Lordly Taylor staff. However, the program used to manage that data was yours. That alone would have allowed you to tamper with the data. Order! Mr. Golden, what is the meaning of this? Golden, I warned you about making me wait. Now put that coffee down. No! My 11th cup. I promised to drink no more than 17 during a trial, which means I'm still good till the last drop. However, the defense has a very good point. A good point? So what? We are all but travelers on a road of infinite points. I think he's got his points mixed up with his other points. So you say this photograph was taken ahead of time, and that the statue was moved in order to make it match. That's a very interesting idea. However, there's one point that can't be denied, which is that is only a possibility. Men are trapped by the chains of maybe. Can never reach their dreams. It's very true. No way, don't fall for that, Your Honor. Hey, Mr. Damask. Yes? If there's no funny business in your actions of Mask the Mask, there should be no problem with you telling us your strategy, so let's hear it. Yes, provide this court with your testimony about your plan to steal the secret urn. Yeah, we're not there yet. I first received a request from Lordly Taylor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box in Zavari. It was then sent to the warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 12th. It's basically, that's pretty much all stuff we've heard before, isn't it? Yeah, but we will find the truth hidden in the nuggets of new information he gave. Witness, you're sure there are no mistakes this time? Zabari. Very well then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. I first received the request from Lord Taylor, yeah. Where should I start? Let's just go to the last statement. And this is the photo that proves that, huh? Indeed. To be honest, even the photo was taken. I didn't think it would matter terribly much. Hey Nick, if this photo is a fake, Detective Atlee might have stolen the urn whenever this was taken. That's true. You know, he's been saying that he never saw the urn until that night. If we can prove that he's lying there, we can wrap this up and put a bow on it. I need to take a good hard look at the court record. Not a lot to go on, is there? That detective's been covering his tracks. There's only one thing we need to prove in this cross-examination, that he took this photo well before the actual night of the crime. Alright then, how do we do that? There's only one thing that Atlee stated very clearly, that he had never seen the urn before he stole it. We need to prove that he's lying. Okay, let's see. Let's go to the final one, and I hope for my sake this isn't a dead end, as one would say. Let's hear it. BAM! Mr. Atlee, if you really are Mask the Mask, then you also wrote this calling card, correct? But of course! Is there a problem with that calling card? Allow me to read a passage from the calling card that Mask the Mask had written. Take good care of the speckled urn. Now, the speckled here surely refers to this pink pattern on the sacred urn. Yes, that is true. But so what? Truth be told, there is no way that Mask the Mask could have known about this pattern. What do you mean? This pink spotted pattern on the urn is actually nothing more than paint stains. Paint stains? And these stains did not appear until after the urn had been taken to Lord Taylor. I'm not finding this joke to be very funny, Mr. Wright. The day that the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to human error. Or should I say, an error-prone human. And that's when the pink paint got on the urn. Ugh, you can't be serious. And yet this calling card clearly mentions the paint pattern. Which means Detective Atlee had seen this urn long before the crime ever took place. In fact, He saw it when this fake photo was taken. Ugh! And because this photo is a fake, your alibi for the night of the murder no longer holds water. Ah! Critical blow. I'd say that what we just saw is a critical blow for the witness. Burn! Witness, do you have anything to say for yourself? Alright, that did it. He's broken. Nick, I think it's still a little early for a victory pose. Huh? It's so sad. No one has any conviction these days. Conviction, you say? Yesterday, we all decided unanimously that this man was Mask the Mask, and now we're calling him a murderer. You don't think we're being a tad fickle? That's a good point. No way, don't fall for that too, Your Honor. Just say that Luke Adme was the one who killed Kane Bullard. And let me ask you this, why would he do that? An excellent point. Motive, Mr. Right, motive! Might you, my merry murderous motive manifest? Nick, he's getting his second wind. If he prepared an alibi and pinned his crime on Rhonda Light, as you say, he must have had a very strong motive for murder. The only one with any motive we've seen is Rhonda Light. Isn't that right, Detective? Indeed. According to my own research, the boy's motive is clear. Without a motive, it's nearly impossible to prove guilt in a murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us as to what the defendant's motives were. I'd be honored to, Sir Timer. They're doing everything they can to make Ron look suspicious. Despite our lack of hard information, this may be our only chance. Look at me, had no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. Kane Bullard decided to investigate Mask the Mask and simply mistook who he was. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Rhonda Light. And it was again Mr. Bullard who harbored a grudge against Mr. Light for his betrayal. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he has Mask the Mask. That is why Mr. Light saw it fit to kill Kane Bullard. Truly a tragedy. So the victim, Kane Bullard, blackmailed the defendant. This is the blackmail letter found in the defendant's apartment. A handwriting test confirms that Mr. Bullard was indeed the one who wrote the letter. What? Very well, Mr. Wright. Begin your cross-examination. Okay. Let's press the third testimony. Don't present anything yet. You mean this blackmail letter right here? It says bring $50,000. And the handwriting is without a doubt the victim's? There's no mistake. We have an official report to prove it. But I don't see an addressee on this letter anyway. You serious? That's how you're going to say address? An addressee? This letter was discovered in Ron Delight's apartment, and Mr. Delight did show up at the designated place and time. The fact that there is no addressee is irrelevant. I wonder. What's up, Nick? I just had a thought. What if that blackmail letter wasn't meant for Mr. Delight? Wow, do you have any evidence of that? For some reason, I just can't shake the feeling that there's something not quite right about this blackmail letter. Well, everyone, are you quite satisfied? It's a little deeper than that. Let's look at this a bit more. Hey, wait a minute. The red diamond that our ace detective friend just so happens to be wearing. That's a little suspicious. Mind if I ask you a few questions, Detective Hammy? Well, if it's just a few, I guess it's alright. When you said that this letter was addressed to Ron Delight, I couldn't help but notice one major contradiction. Contradiction? I don't know where a walking contradiction like you gets off saying things like that. You're the one to talk. At times like this, men are made to express themselves with their fists. Why don't you show us what you got there, Junior? Indeed, time to man up, Mr. Wright. Show us the contradiction evidence in the content of the blackmail letter. Deeper into what I gotta show here. It has nothing to do with the profile itself. Take a good look at this newspaper clipping. It contains a picture of the tear of Eminent, the stolen jewel. What about it? The problem is this jewel's color. Color? I'm not much for discussing color myself. According to the clipping, the color of the stolen jewel was blue. However, in the blackmail letter, a totally different jewel is mentioned. I'll take that red diamond you received the other day. Red? Which means the red diamond described in the blackmail letter is not the tear of Eminent that the mask stole at all. And your point is, Mr. Troy? So you are trying to say that this blackmail letter was intended for someone else? That is what you're trying to say, right, Troy? That is what you're trying to say, right, Mr. Roy? Well, that is what you're trying to say, right, Nick? Yes. Now calm the fuck down. This is who King Bullard was actually blackmailing. Our ace detective friend here. Naturally, it was you, Detective Adme. Do you have some sort of basis for that claim? You've been personally involved in every single mask case, and in the last case, you recovered what was stolen and received a jewel as your reward. A jewel? Probably the one wrapped conspicuously around your finger. A red diamond ring. Good. That is the red diamond referred to in the letter, which means that King Bullard wrote that letter in order to blackmail you! Ah! Order in the court! Order I see. It seems you've gone too far with your childish pranks, Mr. Troy. Uh-oh, I don't like the way he said that. King Bullard blackmailing Luke at me? Are you for real? Yes, I am. Nick, come on, stand up to him. Then answer me this. The blackmail letter contains a following passage. If you don't want your identity revealed to the world. Yes, it certainly does. King Bullard threatened to make Luke Adme's identity public knowledge. An identity he wanted to keep a secret. So just what was that identity? Adme killed King Bullard because he was afraid of his secret becoming known. What was the identity he wanted to keep secret? This is what it all comes down to, Nick. The identity that Luke Adme wanted to so desperately keep secret is a blackmailer. Luke Adme was a blackmailer. Hey now, isn't that a little different from what you've been saying? You said that King Bullard was the one blackmailing Luke Adme. Are you saying that Adme was blackmailing someone else on top of that? Who's the real blackmailer here? I mean, this is a real kettle calling the pot calling the kettle black moment here, right? You don't suppose something is amiss here? You have to admit that does sound a little odd. It's not odd. It's the only thing that makes any sense. King Bullard was blackmailing Luke Adme, but Rhonda Light was also being blackmailed by a certain someone. So, did you start receiving blackmail letters after this incident? Yes, just a few days after the Tear of Eminent heist. After that, I started getting the plans in the mail. I received plans from some very kind person, incredibly detailed plans. Detailed plans? In which case that would mean that Ron Delight was actually Master Mask. Yes, that is what we are claiming. Someone else came up with the plans and had Mr. Delight steal his targets for him. And that someone was none other than Luke Adme. Silence! Now I see. It's all becoming clear. What is? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year, careless with a tendency to jump to conclusions. Am I wrong? How did you... You say that I, Luke Atney, was blackmailing Rhonda Light, in which case I would naturally know all about his relation to Mask the Mask. Well, yes. Rhonda Light started receiving plans from his second kind onward, correct? Which means I learned of his identity when he committed that first crime. Good point. You certainly couldn't have blackmailed him otherwise. In that case, let's see some hot, bitter evidence. During the first crime, how did Luke Atney know that Rhonda Light was Mask the Mask? Going back to this thing here, it does look a little suspicious. I think I see it. See what? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Gets into lots of mischief and trying to be the center of attention. What do you mean? This newspaper clipping. It has a picture of you and Rhonda Light in his guard uniform. It seems that Mask the Mask didn't just disappear into thin air. He just took off his outfit and hid it in a bucket. That sounds far too stupid to be true. Correct. With tricks like that, he couldn't fool a baby, let alone an ace detective. And that's when you figured it out, Mr. Atney. That's when you learned that under his mask, Mask the Mask was actually the thief. Wait, wasn't he supposed to be Mask the Mask? Not only that, it looks like he is an ace detective. I can't believe it. He was just a slimy blackmail. What a fraud. Trying to pass himself as Mask the Mask. Why, you? How dare you expose me like that? Why, I mean, I've never blackmailed anyone in my life. I'm a famous and proud ace detective. And also Mask the Mask. Why can't you understand that? I'm afraid you are neither a proud thief nor an ace detective. You're a blackmailer and a murderer. That is your true identity. What, you? How dare you even, lowly devs, why not try doing yourself with your force on it? You know, you just still a so good on me, come on, man. What the hell is he saying? What the hell is he saying? That's enough to make me one laugh. It would seem we've finally arrived at the real answer. That was quite a performance by Luke Atney. I wonder what's going on with my nose lately. The left part keeps itching. Bailiff, please prepare a cell for Mr. Atney. The hammer that strikes too fast has no time to aim. What do you mean? I'm already prepared to deliver my ruling. Allow me to say one thing. I will be the one to judge. You don't get much more in your face than that. It appears that your claws weren't quite sharp enough, Mr. Trey. What are you... It's true that you've proven a lot of things. things like Luke Edme was a filthy blackmailer, and that he was an Lonely Taylor the night of the murder. That's right, that's why he's the one who killed Mr. Bullet. But there's still one thing you have yet to prove. What's that? Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean he was at the murder scene. Therefore, if you can't prove that this pitiful excuse for a man was at KB security, and I don't see how a verdict can be delivered. No way! Order in the court. Well, Mr. Wright, this is it. This is the final round. I've got to prove that Edme was at Mr. Bullard's on the night. But can you really prove that? That's long enough, Mr. Trey. I want to hear your answer. That night, Look At Me was at KB Security, and the defense. How are we gonna be able to do this? Okay. Yeah, no, I can't. I can't prove it. Just as I thought. But if we hear more of Detective Atney's testimony, unfortunately, that's as far as you go, Mr. Troy. What do you mean? I won't allow for any more testimony. That's what I mean. What? Have you forgotten? Look At Me is here after we interrupted his own trial, and you have failed to prove that he committed the murder. I think it's time for this witness to return to his own trial and face his guilty verdict as Master Mask. Oh, well now, sir lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end after all. I am the ace detective as well as Master Mask. My verdict will verify that, just as Rhonda Lights will verify that he is the true murderer, and declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness. And now this is where that comes into play. Order in the court. It's enough deliberation over this witness. I can't believe this. At this rate, Ron is... Don't give up now, Nick. We still have tomorrow. We can look for more evidence and... By then, it'll be too late. Huh? Why? Double jeopardy. One of the basic rules of any court of law. Double jeopardy? Yeah, you hear that line and just so we're clear, it has nothing to do with Alex Trebek, as the stream title would imply, you know? We would get to this eventually. Should the defendant be tried and found innocent in court, that defendant cannot be tried again for the same crime. This is a fundamental rule of all courts, and it applies to this witness as much as it applies to anyone else. Mr. Edme will be found guilty in a matter of minutes. Guilty as Master Mask, which means he will be innocent as far as the murder of Kane Bullard is concerned. No way. The fact that you were unable to prove Mr. Edme's guilt of that crime here means that he will never again be tried as Kane Bullard's murderer. Now there's nothing I can possibly do to win. Even if one is proclaimed to be innocent, the real killer, Luke Atme, will go free. You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today. And as long as there is no more testimony, I'm afraid I'm have to declare that there will be no further questioning of this witness. Are there any objections? Then I hereby end the cross-examination of Luke Atme. Oh, I think I see it. Your Honor, when you were a child, this is what you, this is what it was on your report every year. Has poor hearing and often makes mistakes as a result. How did you... Phoenix, raise your head up high. Have you forgotten what I used to tell you? A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. That voice! No way! Long time no see, Phoenix. Yeah, that with the report card thing, that's used 3 times so far. Mia! This is the true power of the Korean channeling technique. I know that it's really Maya who's standing before me. But right now, she's my mentor, Mia Fey. Now, let's do this. But there's nothing more we can do, Mia. Without any more testimony, I can't cross-examine. Not yet. The testimony's not over yet. Okay. I'm pretty sure I have this. Yeah. Your Honor, just now you said something very interesting. You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today. Yes, that's true, but unfortunately, Your Honor, you're forgetting something. Earlier, after the last cross-examination, this witness made a number of remarks. Well, now, Sir Lawyer, it seems then love wins out in the end after all. I am the ace detective as well as Mask the Mask. My verdict will verify that. Just as Wanda Lights will verify that he is the true murderer. And declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness. Yes, but these comments appear to have no importance in whatsoever. Very well. Shall we, then we shall prove their importance via cross-examination. At any rate, as long as the witness has made these remarks, we the defense assert our right to question them. Is that alright with you, prosecutor? Is something the matter, Mr. Gotham? Nothing. Oh, Sir Lawyer, it looks like you're one step too late. If you think such falsehoods would do anything to me, Luke, and... Let's hear it. Huh? It's true that the witness made some remarks. So then, let's hear this last bit of cross-examination. Mr. Gotham, what are you... Very well then, Mr. Look at me. I'm going to allow the defense to cross-examine your earlier remarks. The defense would like to hear why you declared the defendant to be the true murderer. So please, give us one last bit of testimony. Phoenix, this is it. This is our absolute last chance. Yes, Chief. Indeed, it is true that I was not at Lloyd Lee Taylor. I had to leave to see about another vitally important job request. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photograph ready. My brilliant deduction was what informed me that the true culprit was Wrong Delight. And thanks to the keycard and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was there. I was also able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left prints if he sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. Mr. Wright was wearing his mask outfit, which is why he left no prints on it. And the blackmail letter? The victim likely just mistook the color of the jewel. Savari! Therefore, all the evidence points to that poor boy. This testimony actually seems to hold up pretty well. The witness's earlier remarks do not appear to have been hastily prepared. All of his points have been explained and none of them seem to contradict anything. But of course! But how did you know about the emergency buzzer? The police investigation documents went directly through me. And I always look over all the documents. It's elementary, Sir Lawyer. Are you going to make even more trouble for us now, Sir Lawyer? I will not allow any of your usual shenanigans, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. We cannot postpone Luke Adme's trial any longer. This is your last chance. Hang on a second. Just one chance? It seems that the party's about to begin. Well, Phoenix, there isn't any evidence that contradicts him with that testimony. So it would seem. What do you mean, so it would seem? Listen, Phoenix, pointing out contradictions doesn't always mean you have to present evidence, does it? At any rate, this is our last chance. If you can't point out a case-breaking contradiction, you lose. That's all there is to it. Cup number 17. The last cup. It seems like the time has come to put an end to this trial. I have to find a fatal contradiction in this testimony, and I need to point it out without presenting evidence. Which means all I can do is find a contradictory remark and press it. Remember, you only get one chance, one opportunity. Don't let it blow. You snap back to reality, bro. Well then, Mr. Wright, please begin your final cross-examination and don't waste our time. Yeah, just so we're clear on that. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, Number 9. Mask the Mask outfit, huh? Hey, buddy. Mr. Adme, about this last moment.
Objection!
You still don't get it, do you, Troy? This isn't the time to be pressing in the witness on every little statement. I'm afraid you're the one who still doesn't get it, Mr. Godo. What? Mr. Adme, it seems you have finally admitted that you were in the CEO's office on the night of the murder. It's simple. How else could you have known that he was wearing, that Ron DeLite was wearing Mask the Mask's outfit? How can you say that? Let's review your testimony, shall we, Mr. Adme? The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? Mr. DeLite was wearing his Mask the Mask outfit. Is that correct? Indeed. That's what I said. My deductions sound like absolutely foolproof. More like your deductions prove that you're a fool. I'm sorry. Whatever do you mean? For some reason, I'm starting to get really thirsty. When exactly did we learn the fact that Ron DeLite was dressed as Mask the Mask when he went to the scene of the crime? It was just a few hours ago. Back when my 6th cub was looking at me with a cold stare. Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? I'm sorry, I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. That's right. The defendant had yet to tell anyone else this fact before this morning. Therefore, the only people who should know this are those who have been watching this trial. Do you understand now, Detective Adme? There's no way that you should have known about that. You were in the next courtroom being tried as Mask the Mask. So then enlighten us. Just how did you know about that piece of information? Well, come on. This detective must have known about it. He probably had plenty of chances to find out beforehand. And it's those chances that I want to discuss next. That night, Mr. DeLite was wearing his Mask the Mask outfit. There's one and only one way for Detective Adme to have found that out. Only one way, you say. Please recall, if you will, Mr. DeLite's testimony. When I entered an office, there was a suspicious shadow there. For a second, my client witnessed the real killer. But Mr. DeLite never saw his attacker. So there's no way to tell whether or not the real killer was look at me. It's with that statement that I'll turn this case on its head. Just what are you implying? Well, Mr. DeLite saw the killer, correct? If you turn that statement around, it stands to reason that the real killer had also seen Ron DeLite. Impossible. Dun dun dun. Detective Adme, you saw Mask the Mask at the murder scene that night. You saw him when you killed Kane Bullard and assaulted Ron Dunlight. That was the only way you could have known what Ron was wearing. Oh, take a look. Good look, everyone! Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself! Here I am, the Trent Clown! That's the same line you gave yesterday. But I think there's a little more meaning behind it this time. What an awfully complicated incident. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke Adme, who was in turn blackmailing Ron Delight. And upon killing his blackmailer, Luke Adme trying to frame Ron Delight. He then claimed to be guilty as Mask the Mask in order to escape his true crime. And to that end, he came up with this plan. He used the double Jeopardy rule when making his alibi. At any rate, it would seem we finally found the truth. Excuse me, I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man, besmirching him with the title of murder. Don't ignore me! Oh, I didn't realize you were there. Why wouldn't be? About the verdict. I know, you never committed any murder. That's right, I'm so glad you understand that, but I really am Master Mask! Huh? So, thanks to that trial yesterday, I'm innocent now, right? What was it you said? Double Jeopardy? Now that you mention it, I've been careless. Careless? What do you think, Mia? As the defendant says, the rule of double jeopardy is absolute. A defendant can never be tried for a crime in which he was found innocent. Then, Mask the Mask is really innocent. It would seem so. For now. For now. Now then, this court finds the defendant not guilty. Boy, this is really lucky. Wait, this isn't so good after all. You see, the thing is, I still am a Master Mask. It's too late to confess there, buddy. You did it, Phoenix. Thanks, Mia. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Yeah, it's because Maya doesn't call on me much these days. Oh? I'm just joking, Phoenix. Don't take everything so seriously. But on the other hand, Maya, she seems kind of torn these days. You mean about becoming the master of the Korean channeling school? Becoming the master means saying goodbye to our mother, Misty Faye, right? Watch over her, will you, Phoenix? Of course. Well then, see you around. Mia. Mr. Wright. I don't know what to say. Congratulations, Mr. Delight. Thank you so much. No, wait. Nothing really matters anymore, though, now that all this... Come on. Just be happy already, Maya. You've been cleared of the murder charges and got off as Mask the Mask to boot. But in exchange, I lost everything. What do you mean? Stealing security information from KB Security, becoming Mask the Mask? I did it all for one reason, for her. You mean your wife, Desiree? She hates criminals more than anything. Come to think of it, she was once held hostage by some robbers, wasn't she? She always said how she hated sneaky criminals. I knew that, but once I got fired from KB Security and lost all the money I had, she wouldn't have any reason to stay with me. I thought she would leave me for sure. So that's why you became Mask the Mask. Yes, but it's all over now. A broken bowl can never be put back together! That's not true. Right, Nick? Right. Really? Can we go back to the way things were? You'll be fine, and Nick can prove it. I can? I kinda wish you would check with me first. Mr. Delight, even if a bowl is broken, there's always a way to put it back together. Yeah, what's that thing I want to present? These moments are optional. You don't need to necessarily do that, but I feel it would be right if I do it. So let's do it. Sacred urn, yeah, and putting it back together, just like this. The sacred urn. Dizzy was the one who found this. Desiree, your wife. She's always believed in you, Ron. That's why you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about anything. Ah, there you are. Mr. Light. You did it, Ronnie. You're innocent. I'm so happy. Thank you. I appreciate that, but, I suppose you don't want anything more to do with me, do you? Ronnie, why didn't you talk to me about what was going on? I had no idea you'd quit KB Security. I never imagined that you really were really Mask the Mask either. Mr. Light, what are you going to do now that you know? You're not going to really leave him, are you? Come on, it's obvious, isn't it? How could I ever let a wonderful man like him get away? After all, my bike's really fast. So fast that there's no way he could ever get away. But didn't you say that you hated criminals? Oh! I only hate people who act all cowardly and sneaky. Like that detective. I see. My Ronnie went and declared his crimes before he committed them. Light command. I just love a man who's so chivalrous. Chivalrous? I knew I was right about you. Every day I spend with you is filled with thrills and excitement. Desiree, you really do love Ron, don't you? Nicky boy? Yes? I'm really glad I asked you to defend my Ronnie. Thank you so much. I'll never forget what you've done for us. Oh, well, take care of yourself. You too, Nicky boy. I can feel my face going red. Mr. Nick, Mystic Maya, congratulations. Talk about bad timing. Mr. Nick, how could you with another man's wife? I'll never forgive you. Never, ever. Poor Pearls. Pearl Faye. She never seems to understand the situation as complicated as that. Especially when the verdict was reached. And everything had resolved itself. Just as the case came to a close, so too did my consciousness. Ron said a broken bowl can never be put back together. But I know that's not true. I mean, just look. Here's a perfect example of one that was put back together even better than before. Wow! I'd say that one was a great way to end things. Quite swiftly, on my ad. Yeah, I can't really come to a complete commitment to the way things were going. And things were acting a bit funny there, but I don't really have anything to expect out of line. It just sort of happened. So that's the way it had to come down to. I don't really understand it myself, but it just sort of happened. Now, I'm about to start a raid to someone. Let me close this game, this program, and uh-oh. There we go. Let me now determine a channel that I wanna raid after right now. I believe that would be my best move. I'm just looking at the ones that I've gone off after in recent times. Yeah, this will do. Let's go after the one playing No Man's Sky. Stay tuned for more Phoenix Wright Trials and Tribulations shenanigans tomorrow. Haha. I have been Ironheady, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow, compadres.